break, every continent comes alive on our channel, Eurovision, all things Europe, Nations League, Euros, FIFA WC qualifiers. Goal Plus Africa, Africa's Heartbeat, AFCON, CHAN, Kosovo Cup, FIFA WC qualifiers. Libertadores Vision, South America Uncovered, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, WC qualifiers. Silk Dynasty, Asia Spotlight, Asian Cup, WC qualifiers. Harambee Stars Unleashed, everything about Kenya's national team. When club football dominates, we go deeper, United Frontline, the ultimate Man United fan experience. Echoes of Anfield, Liverpool like you've never seen it. House of Galacticos, Real Madrid Uncovered. Premier League Game Month Show, Stats, Analysis, Insights every 4 game weeks. Champions Crystal Ball, UEFA Tournaments, Club World Cup, Super Cup Predictions. Final Whistle Debate Show, the hottest sports topics debated by experts, every 6 weeks. Deal Paranoia, transfer window coverage you can't miss. And for weekly predictions? We cover everything, Premier League, Championship, FA Cup, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, League One, DStv Premiership, T20 Cricket, F1, Women's Super League, international tournaments, and much more. Why subscribe? Because we don't just show games, we predict, analyze, debate, and break the stories that matter. From transfers to tactical battles, from managerial appointments to live watch-alongs, Football Overseas gives you the edge no other channel does. This is your hub for global sports, where every match counts, every opinion matters, and every fan belongs. Subscribe, join the debate, and fuel your passion. The game doesn't wait, and neither should you.
So, pick up, guys. Welcome to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and this is World Cup 2026 group stage predictions. And yeah, it is an amazing time to be alive. 4 years have passed, and it felt like those 4 years have been a long time from 2022 World Cup. Yeah, where I saw Qatar being hosting that World Cup to the next World Cup of to the next World Cup in USA, Canada, Mexico. So how do these 12 groups play? Because last World Cup was 8 groups. In this World Cup, it's 12 groups, and there's a lot of expanded football. Obviously, this World Cup introduces something that is a bit of a change. Is a change of third place teams can qualify for knockout stage, and there's a bit of a change in the knockout stage structure where there's round of 32, yeah, before the normal round of 16 quarterfinals and semifinals and final. So that makes the World Cup a bit more difficult as well. And all of this is being done uh, because of money. Yeah. So we start off with the first group. Yeah, obviously I'll use our website to try to predict with you guys. We start off with the first group, that is Group I. That is Group A. Oh, yeah, Group A. Yeah, Group A is Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic. Obviously, all of them have been drawn for together in Group A. Last time Mexico played in the World Cup was in 2022, and they didn't make it out of the group stage. And they're hosting this World Cup. They failed to make it out of the group stage, ending a legendary run of 7 consecutive ahead of 16 appearances in the World Cup. 7 back-to-back World Cup appearances. Now, where does Mexico run into this World Cup? Obviously, they'll be looking to come back to that streak of make it round of 16 appearances. And the best performance in were reaching quarterfinals in 1970 and 1986. For Mexico, they have a lot of players to look out for. They have forwards like Raul Jimenez used to be Jimenez used to be in Premier League. Julian Julian Cornelius is yeah, and the veteran goalkeeper Ocha. As expectation for Mexico, as of course, there's immense pressure on Mexico to advance deep into the tournament, but they face a tough battle just to get out of this Group A. The tough battle is facing teams like South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic. Those are teams where, if we underestimate these teams, they could do you dirty. And for Mexico, that is a huge challenge, obviously. So for Mexico, where I see them being blessed, I see them finishing top of the table. I had a bit of disputes, yeah, but I see them finishing top of the table with 7 points, 5 goals scored, 2 goals conceded. Now you may ask why 7 points? The reason is this: I see Mexico getting 2 wins, one draw. Now, where does one draw come from? I'm not sure, but maybe a draw against South Korea. I see Mexico beating South Africa and Czech Republic. Yeah, home advantage plays, by the way. Yeah. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Like the video stream, share, and also make the live chat lively. I'll be looking to live chat as well. Next, Next team is South Africa. South Africa is expected the Bafana team. The last World Cup they appeared was in 2010 World Cup, where they hosted that World Cup. It was group stage. They failed to appear for the 2014, 2016, 2020, 20 were 2014, 2018, 2022 World Cups, so they failed for 3 World Cups, but they're back in the World Cup. Since 2010, they're back, yeah. So their last performance, they failed to qualify for subsequent tournament after hosting the 2010 event. Their best performance was making it, it was group stage, that was group stage of for Bafana group stage of 1998, 2002, and 2010. So those are 3 World Cups, and that has been the best performance. They failed to make it to knockout stage. Expectation heading to this World Cup. What are the expectations of Bafana? They are they're viewed as underdogs of Group A, and their young squad will be aiming to break that group stage curse and secure a historic knockout stage path. Now, what are my expectations of South Africa? Heading to this World Cup, I see South Africa as the third most ready team in this World Cup group. I see they're more prepared for this World Cup than Czech Republic is. And but what I'm most honest opinion, I see South Africa finishing bottom of this group. I'm just being honest. Sorry to my South African brothers. I'm just being honest. I see South Africa finishing bottom of this group. Yeah, and I see Czech Republic getting a shock win against South Africa. Yeah, yeah. So that's my honesty. Next team is South Korea. South Korea last World Cup appearances was in 2022 World Cup in Qatar. They finished in the round of 16. That their last performance they advanced from group stage but were eliminated by Brazil in round of 16. Best performance in a World Cup experience in a World Cup history was 2-2, where they finished fourth place. That means they made it to the semi-finals. That shows how strong South Korea is in the football nation, as a football nation. The expectation is they're making the 11th consecutive appearance at the World Cup, 11 World Cups back to back to back. That's an amazing experience. They are expected to be strong contenders to advance and potentially top this group, and that is true. I do expect South Korea to go back to back with Mexico in this World Cup group. Yeah, Mexico. What will give Mexico advantage over South Korea is typical thing of home advantage, but where they're seeing South Korea finishing, I see South Korea finishing second place above Czech Republic. Yeah, I see them getting a draw against. Yeah, I see them getting a win and a draw. Yeah, I see them getting a shock loss to a certain team in this group. I'm not sure each team, but maybe a team, yeah, Czech Republic, kind of sort of team. I know it's a shock prediction, yeah, but that is my prediction. Yeah. Last team is Czech Republic. Last World Cup was 2006 World Cup that was hosted in Germany, group stage. It has been 20 years wait for the Czechs who are making their first World Cup experience appearance since 2006 as an independent nation. Last World Cup was, yeah, yeah. So last World Cup they are not an independent nation. Best performances to watch is the group stage, what to six as an independent nation, and yeah, that's the best World Cup they had performance. That was group stage. So we know Czech Republic hasn't made it out of the group stage in a long time, and they'll be looking to break that history as well. So we have people like Czech Republic, South Africa, who are looking to break the group stage curse, and only one of them will be able to break it, not both. Yeah. Expectations, Czech Republic will rely on their physical size and veteran leadership to cause upset and progress from a very balanced group. And I believe Czech Republic will. Czech Republic heading into this group where do I see them being? I see them being the least prepared World Cup group team in this World Cup group. Yeah, South Africa is way prepared than Czech Republic, but I see an upset. I see Czech Republic shocking South Africa, getting a shock win against South Africa, and I see Czech Republic beating South Africa as well. Yeah. So Czech Republic will finish third, 4 points. Yeah, two goals conceded, two goals scored, three goals conceded. Next group is Group B. Group B is hosted by Bosnia, Qatar, Switzerland, and yeah, that is an amazing group to honestly to work with. Who looks more prepared heading into this World Cup? Qatar looks more prepared heading into this World Cup. Obviously, this group is a tight group. Yeah, we have three teams similar, close to each other. We have teams like Qatar, Switzerland, and Canada that are so close to each other. Bosnia shocked the world when they knocked out Italy. We all thought Italy, Bosnia, World Cup qualifiers. We all thought Italy can easily knock out Bosnia, but Italy was shocked. Yeah, Italy was shocked by Bosnia, and Bosnia is a team not to mess with as well. So last World Cup, so we start with Canada. Last World Cup experience for Canada was in 2022 World Cup. Canada failed to make it out of the group stage. They were put in a group where I can say there are levels to this group, but also they are all had inconsistent players, and Canada could have finished. They finished bottom of the group after losing all three games to Belgium, Croatia, and Morocco. Yeah. Best best performance for Canada is group stage. That was 1986 and 2022. And they've famously never won a World Cup game match or earned a single point. And this World Cup, they'll be looking to break that record. I see them breaking that record, by the way. And players to watch, we have players like the left back slash winger, Alfonso Davis, and out of form, Jonathan David. Juventus, he has been struggling to find form in his new club. As co-host and manager Jesse Marsh, this is considered a highly favorable draw for Canada. The minimum expectation is to secure the first World Cup win with a very realistic eye on the fancy to knockouts. Now to be honest, to spread the honest truth about this World Cup group, Canada I see Canada getting their first World Cup win and single points. I see them getting that in this group easily. Now, due to Canada's issue of being inconsistent and where you'd be expecting Canada to get is this can be a favorable draw. Canada was last World Cup they were in a favorable draw as well, and they finished bottom. So this World Cup, the question is, are we back in Canada again? Yeah, that's a simple question. Are we back in Canada again? Most likely the answer is I am back in Canada. Yeah, Canada will finish 5 points. 5 points. So they'll finish second. I see Canada finish second, and you may be asking me why? Why Canada second? Number one, because Canada has this thing of inconsistency. Number two, home advantage base. Number three, I see Switzerland as a better nation than Canada is. Yeah, in terms of preparedness for the World Cup, this World Cup, I see Canada as the third most prepared team in this group. Yeah, Switzerland and Qatar are more prepared than Canada for this World Cup. In terms of form, in terms of history, in terms of inconsistency, in terms of everything, and in terms of managerial style and tactics, yeah, Canada is the third. Now, you may be asking, why am I putting Canada second if Canada is the third most prepared team because of squad quality? Canada is, I consider Canada's second best nation in this World Cup group. Yeah. Next team we're focusing on is Bosnia. Yeah. Bosnia, last World Cup appearance was in 2014, hosted by Brazil. They failed to make it out of the knockout stage. They finished third in the group behind Argentina, Nigeria, and recording one win against Iran before exiting. Now the question is, will Bosnia record the same one win in this group? Most likely, yes. Yeah. Um, Best performance. That's a World Cup group stage as an independent nation. Players to watch: they start Gat forward, Ed, Ed, Erimed Demirovsic, yeah, and the Benfica defender Amal Dedesic, and the legendary veteran the Zako, yeah, remained on the roster as a leadership figure. Expectation: they're returning to the World Cup to the world stage after 12 years absence. That means they've missed around four World Cups. Yeah. And they're returning to the World Cup stage after that. And the Glagons are highly physical and disciplined. They're viewed as a direct rival to Canada for the group's second qualification spot. Yeah. Now, the question is, do I see them as the second as direct rival to Canada for the second qualification spot? Yes, I do. I see Bosnia and Canada going toe to toe for that second World Cup spot in that group. Yeah, Bosnia will give Canada a run for the money. It's not be an easy match, it's not be an easy category, but Bosnia will give Canada a run for the money. Bosnia will finish third in this World Cup group. Yeah, they finished third. But however, Bosnia will finish third in this World Cup group. However, but they'll finish still same points, 5 points, one win, two draws. Yeah, I see the win that I see all of them getting against each other is I guess the win I see all these three teams getting the Switzerland, Canada, Bosnia. They'll all get a win against Qatar. No offense to Qatar, squad quality matters. Um, Draws, they'll all get a shock draw against each other. Yeah, I don't find a reason each team is better than the other one. They'll all shock each other, yeah, underestimating each other, and yeah. Now, when I asked a team like Cloud about their predictions, they underestimated Bosnia. They thought Bosnia would finish fourth. 1 point, 2 goals conceded, 2 goals scored, and 5 points conceded. But me, I have belief in Bosnia. Yeah. So that World Cup group, I think we have had a wrap in Group B. Now we go to Group C. Group C is managed by three good quality teams: Brazil, Scotland, Morocco, and Haiti. Obviously, we all know Haiti qualifying for this World Cup is a miracle. Yeah, it is a good achievement for Haiti to qualify for this World Cup group, and Haiti congrats for qualify for this World Cup. Yeah, but we all know, I know, everyone knows Haiti. You're just playing for pride. I don't think you're playing for the sake of competition. And yeah, so last, so we start with Brazil. Brazil last World Cup appearance was in 2022, hosted by Qatar. They finished. They were knocked out in the quarterfinals. The last performance they suffered a heartbreaking penalty shootout, eight elimination against Croatia in the quarterfinals. Best performance, we all know Brazil is a World Cup winning team, a very, very good World Cup winning team. They've won the World Cup 5 times in a row: 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, and 2002. Now for Brazil, players to watch for Brazil. Yeah, there's a lot of players to watch, but people like Vinicius Junior. Endrick is an explosive teenager from Chelsea. He's a player to watch out for, and Rodrigo as well. Yeah, they're now led by a manager who likes to win, Carlo Ancelotti, and Brazil is under a lot of pressure to end that 24-year clout of not winning what do you call it, a World Cup trophy. They are now overwhelming favorites to comfortably win Group C and expected to challenge for the trophy. Now, my honest take about that is Brazil will struggle. Yeah. Another player to watch for this Brazil squad is people like Casemiro. Yeah. Neymar, this is the last World Cup. Neymar has to give a lot in this World Cup. And Neymar is missing the first game against Morocco. Yeah, Neymar being Neymar. You'll expect Neymar to be fit against the first game, but who is Neymar? Neymar misses the first game for Brazil. He's going to miss the first game. And could that be an injury blow to Brazil? Most likely, yes. Could it impact Brazil? Could it be the difference? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of maybes. But for this World Cup group, but and for Group C, where they see Brazil finishing, I see Brazil finishing in top of the table. Top of the table, 7 points, 5 goals scored, 3 goals conceded, 2 wins, 1 draw. Yeah. The draw will come against Morocco. Yeah. Now the next team to talk about in this group is Scotland. Scotland, the last World Cup appearance was in 1998, hosted by France, and they failed to make it out of the group stage. They finished bottom of the group behind Brazil, Norway, and Morocco, considerably mirroring the 2026 opponent because you see last World Cup appearance for Scotland, they faced Brazil and Morocco. They're facing Brazil and Morocco in this World Cup. Called history back in itself. And they finished bottom of that group. Yeah. But obviously Scotland has grown a lot. There's a lot of Scottish players. The midfield has improved a lot. Football has improved for Scotland, and Scotland is not the same Scotland it was back then. Midfielders to watch, we have people like Scott McTominay, the captain Andy Robertson, who has earned a move to Tottenham. He has left Liverpool, and Aston Villa midfielder John McGinn. Yeah, Expectation for Scotland is to make they're making the emotional return to the world stage after 28 years of being out of it. Scotland's primary objective is to rewrite history by surviving the group stage for the first time. They want to survive the group stage for the first time. It is a good goal. After 28 years of missing out of the group stage, 28 years of missing out of the group stage, it counts. How many is that? 28 divided by 6, 4. That is around 7 World Cups missed. Yeah. The second objective, yeah, is to rewrite history and to make it out of the group stage. The opening match is against Haiti. It is a must win to set up a qualification push. And I feel like Haiti, they'll beat Haiti easily. Morocco, Scotland. Scotland will get 2 wins, to be honest. I say Scotland doing well in this World Cup group. Scotland, they come into this World Cup group as the third least prepared team in this World Cup group. Obviously, Morocco are favourites, followed by Brazil second, and Scotland is third. But I say Scotland shocking Morocco. Morocco has had a change of management, and they have dismissed the senior manager that did them wonders in World Cup 2022, and they've gone for the under 21. Yeah, so and that is very, and obviously when you change that, there's a bit this expectation to have turbulence here and there, and for Morocco, it should be there. So Morocco, whether I see Morocco finishing, no Scotland finishing, I see Scotland finishing third, second in this group, second with 6 points, 5 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. That defense will be leaky. The attack will be scoring goals. Yeah, that's only issue for Scotland is the leaky defense. Yeah, apart from that, it's a good team to reckon with. Another another team we're talking about is Morocco. Last as World Cup was 2022, hosted by Qatar. They finished fourth place. They went to the semi-finals, finished fourth. They produced a legendary historic run in the last performance, becoming the first African nation to ever reach a World Cup semi-final. Best performance was last World Cup, finishing fourth. Plus to watch, Hakimi has just won the UCL. Playmaker Brahim Diaz. Hopefully this time he doesn't miss a penalty like he did in the AFCON final. And winger Hakim Ziyech, I think he plays in Turkey now. Yeah. Expectations, Morocco are no longer dark horses. They entered the tournament as established global heavyweights and expected to easily navigate out of the group alongside Brazil, and a highly anticipated clash with Brazil will likely determine who tops the Group C. Obviously, I think that clash will be a draw. They'll get a shock draw against Brazil, and they'll put expectations there. But I feel like people are missing the key point. That match is good to set the standards high, but the match that will determine whether Morocco qualifies would be the match of Morocco versus Scotland. The match of Morocco versus Haiti, that's easy 3 points. Morocco should not bottle that. But Morocco versus Scotland is a battle for second place. Yeah. And I feel like Morocco will lose that because of due to the pressure. And it will be 4 points secured, 4 points secured, four goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Yeah. And for Morocco, they'll finish third in this World Cup group. Sadly. Next team is Haiti. Haiti will finish fourth. Obviously, uh, last World Cup qualification was in 1974 when Germany was still divided into West Germany, East Germany, and that tournament World Cup was hosted by West Germany, and Haiti failed to make it out of the group stage. Last performance, they lost all group game matches to Poland, Italy, Argentina in their only previous finals appearance. Best Best performance was group stage. That was 1974. Plus to watch, people like Dakans Sound is the all-time leading striker, midfielder Jan Rikna Bellegarde, the Wolves midfielder that was relegated, and Danley Chen Jacques, another midfielder. Uh, Haiti's expectation is to end as 52-year World Cup drought, and the Les Canidas are the ultimate feel-good story of the tournament, qualifying despite several political turmoil at home. While they are heavy underdogs on paper, they aim to play with immense national pride and claim points of Scotland or Morocco to fight for round of 32 spot. Yeah, to just tell Haiti fans, yeah, qualifying for the World Cup is good enough. Yeah, I don't see you guys getting any points in this World Cup group. Yeah, I see you guys donating points, 3 points to the rest of the team. Yeah, apart from that, Haiti will finish bottom, 0 points, 2 goals scored, 6 goals conceded. Yeah, is there any messages that I've missed out on? Yeah, so next group is Group D. Group D of USA, Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. That is a good group hosted. One of the hosts, USA, is in this group, and it will be a good group for teams to watch as well. Is there anything interesting in this group? No, nothing interesting in this group. Yeah, you start off with USA. Last World Cup experience for USA was out of 16. That was 2022 World Cup got Qatar. They were smashed by Netherlands 3-1. Yeah, in the first knockout round. Best performance for USA was third place finish in 1930 World Cup. Players to watch out for in USA are Pulisic AC Milan, um, McKennie Juventus, and playmaker João Renner. I think he plays for Dortmund. Yeah, and former Chelsea manager Pochettino. The USA national team are favourites to win Group D on home soil with a deeply talented roster and a Pachesian home crowd. Anything less than topping the group and reaching at least the quarterfinals will be seen as a disappointment. So that's disappoint. So that's disappoint yourself fans. You're not reaching the quarterfinals. Topping this group. Will you top this group? Most likely, nope, not. I see Turkey is a better team than USA. Yeah. Well, where will USA top finish? They'll finish second in this group. Yeah, I know I'm upsetting USA fans here, but 5 goals scored, yeah, 4 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Yeah, yeah, defense. It will be tight games for your games. Let me be back. I'm putting my things to charge. Yeah, so for USA, that group it will be a tight group for USA. Playing against teams like Turkey, Paraguay, and Australia, and they managed to get one win, 2 draws. A draw, where will they get a draw against? Most likely they'll get a draw against Turkey, Australia. They'll beat Paraguay, obviously, yeah. But for Team USA, they're not up in this group and they're not making the quarterfinals, at least the quarterfinals. But qualifying for knockout stage, they'll qualify for knockout stage, obviously. Yeah, but the other stage, the other things I'll predict in a knockout stage stream, but this is group stage predictions. Yeah, so next team I'm looking at is Paraguay. Paraguay, the last World Cup appearance was in 2010, hosted by South Africa. Last World Cup was quarterfinals. They reached the final eight for the first time in the history before suffering a narrow 1-0 loss to the champions of 2010, Spain. Best performance for in this World Cup was 20 quarterfinals 2010. Yeah. Players to watch out for. You have Percy winger Giallo Isieso, winger Miguel Al Almilion, that is a former Newcastle winger, and Gustavo Gomez. For Paraguay, they are making their return to the big stage after 16-year absence. That is after how long absence? That after four World Cups, missing four World Cups. Gustavo Alfaro's team is notorious for athletic defensive style football. Most likely, in football, we call this handball. Yeah, they are projected to heavily battle Turkey and Australia for the club's secondary qualification spot. Now, I'll be honest. I know seeing Paraguay battling Australia or Turkey for the second spot. Yeah, I see them giving out points. Paraguay finishing fourth, two goals scored, six goals conceded. Yeah. Next group. Next team is Australia. 2022 Australia. Wow. Yeah, well, Australia qualified for the 2022 World Cup. That was the last World Cup. They were knocked out in the round of 16. They lost 2-1 to champions Argentina. Their best performance in a World Cup was 2006 World Cup and 2022 World Cup. Their best, their players to watch out for is the Percy winger Nestori Irakando, a Bayern Munich player, Jackson Irefen, and defender Jordan Boss. Expectation for Aus- for Australia is the slightly disciplined but are labeled by bets oddsmaker as slightly paper underdogs in this specific group. However, given their historic knack for punching above their weight, they are fully expected to challenge for a round of 32 advancement slot. I'll be honest here. Yeah, I see Australia the most prepared for this World Cup out of all the other four. Now, for Australia, yeah, and that's the element of punching above the weight. Now, for Australia, they'll undermine my expectation, yeah, and well, they finish in this World Cup group, undermining my expectation. They'll finish third, 4 points, 4 points, for four goals scored, three goals conceded. Yeah, and I think that wraps it up. That wraps up the group. No, it's Turkey left. Turkey last team of this group, last World Cup was 2-2, hosted by South Korea and Japan. Finished third. The best experience was third. They shocked the world 24 years after making a legendary run to the semi-finals and winning the bronze medal. The best performance was 2-2. That's performance in South Korea and Japan. Yeah, best players to watch: Adagola, Real Madrid's teenage phenomenon, Juventus star Kenan Yildiz, and captain Hakan Kalahongal. Expectation that one of the most exciting young attacking generations in Europe, and Turkey is second favorite to advance from Group D, given the high ceiling. They're heavily tipped to make a deep bracket run if the defense holds up. The issue with Turkey is they have good attack, defense is 50-50. Yeah. But for Turkey, I see Turkey topping this group, 7 points, 5 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Yeah. Next group, Group E. Wow, I've spent all that time talking about. Okay, 40 minutes. Okay, wow. Okay, so Group E is Germany, Curaçao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Yes, it is a good group to be honest. Germany, we start off with Germany. Germany, I predict them to finish. They are the most prepared out of this World Cup group. This World Cup group will be tight World Cup group. Germany, good quality team. Yeah, Germany will finish first. They'll dominate this World Cup group. They'll rarely get goals conceded against them. There are five goals scored, 1 goal conceded. Yeah, their defense should be sharp. The attack will be the only issue. Not scoring much goals, but yeah, but I don't think they'll take this World Cup group that seriously. Yeah. Um, Germany, the last World Cup, they failed to make it out of the group stage. They suffered a shock exit from the group stage. Yeah, in the second back-to-back World Cup, despite beating Costa Rica in the final game, but they missed out due to and Japan game. Yeah, that's why they missed out. Best performance, they've won this World Cup 4 times in a row: 1954, 1974, 1990, and 2014. Players to watch out for were people like Jamal Musala from Bayern Munich, Foreign Watts from Liverpool, and Joshua Kimmich from Bayern Munich as well. Germany enters the tournament as heavy favorites to win the group after back-to-back group stage elimination in 2018 and 2022, and anything less than topping this group and launching a deep championship contending bracket run will be deemed as a failure and at least because Germany has too much quality and I see them topping this group. Next thing is the elephants. Last World Cup appearance for the Elephants was 2014, hosted by Brazil. They failed to make it out of the group stage. They finished third in the group behind Colombia and Greece, narrowly missing out on qualification after a late click penalty in the final match. Best performance was group stage 2006, 2010, 2014. Players to watch out for is Roma centre back Ivan Dika, Brighton's winger Simon Adekre, and midfielder Frank Kessie, and Man United's winger Amadialo. Expectation and Leipzig winger De Monde. Expectation for Ivory Coast is to return to the world stage after missing the last two auditions. They are the reigning They are the former reigning Afghan giants and are heavily tipped as dangerous dark horses. The Ivory Coast have a highly physical and athletic roster, each are pacey and expected to fiercely challenge Ecuador for the second automatic qualification slot out of this group. And I believe that they will beat Ecuador to that spot as well. My prediction: Ivory Coast finished second, 6 points, 4 goals scored, 2 goals conceded. They'll lose, yeah, they'll lose to Germany, but they'll manage to beat Ecuador and Morocco. Next team is Morocco. Morocco will finish fourth. This is their World Cup debut. They have never previously qualified. They have completed a Cinderella qualifying campaign under coach Dick Advocat to lock up their first ever ticket. They are, they are no prior history. They have officially become the smallest nation both by population and landmass to ever make a World Cup appearance. Players to watch out for: people like Chong, former United player who plays for Luton Town, Elio Rom, veteran goalkeeper, Birmingham City midfielder, Genio Bacona. Yeah, they're the ultimate tournament winners and paper underdogs of Group E. With zero historic pressure on their shoulder, the Blue Wave will aim to play defensively and avoid heavy defeats against heavyweights and look to snag a historic first ever point against Ivory Coast or Ecuador. Yeah. Will they manage to do so? I see they'll manage to do so. They'll manage to get a historic point. But against who? This might shock you. Against Germany. Yeah, I know that they are expected to be smashed by Germany, but by then Germany will have qualified for the knockout stage by the time they play Curaçao. So they'll either have qualified or they're rotating for a bigger game. So I think Curaçao will shock them. One goal scored, five goals conceded. Yeah, tight defense, but they'll be having a very limited attack. Yeah. Next team, next team is Ecuador. Ecuador is last appearance was 2022. Failed to make it out of group stage. They played excellent in the first two, but were eliminated in heartbreak 2-1 final group loss to Senegal. Best performance was 2006, that was out of 16. Plus to watch out for Moses Caicedo, Chelsea midfielder, and centre backs elite centre backs like Arsenal's centre back slash left back Hikabe and Pacho from PSG. Yeah, they are the most talented defensive generation in the country's history, and the baseline expectation is to advance out of this group stage, given the young core elite European experience. They are fully projected to reach the round of 32 and potentially equal or beat their best ever round of 16 finish. Ecuador, third group, very, very tight group. I think Ivory Coast should. Ecuador finished 3 points, 3 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, very, very tight, and their limited attack will be an issue for them. Their defense will hold up, their defense very tight. Yeah. Next group, Group F. Next group is Group F, that is Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. Very, very. It is a mid group. Yeah, very, very mid group. We start off with Netherlands. By Netherlands in the Qatar World Cup, they finished in quarterfinals. They were knocked out in a dramatic penalty shootout by Argentina in the final eight. They lost 2-1, and They are they were runners up in World Cup 3 times in a row: 1974, 1978, and 2010 World Cup. The best players to watch out in for Netherlands is Frankie de Jong, Virgil van Dijk, and Gakpo. They entered the tournament as heavy favorites to win Group F, boasting an elite mix of veteran leadership and young talent. The baseline expectation for Netherlands is to win the group comfortably and launch a deep championship run. My expectation for Netherlands, they are the best team in this World Cup group so far. They'll finish. They will finish top of the table, 7 points, 5 goals scored, 2 goals conceded. Yeah. Next one is Japan. Japan is last World Cup. They were knocked out in the round of 16. They topped a difficult group containing Spain, Germany, but they suffered a heartbreak penalty loss to shootout to Croatia in the round of 16 in the knockouts. The best performance was round of 16. They've reached round of 16 4 times in a row: 2002, 2010, 2018, 2022, and they're looking to reach a quarterfinal appearance. Players to watch out for is Mutoma from Brighton, Kubo from Real Sociedad, and Endo from Liverpool. Japan is a we all know Japan as a highly disciplined and technically elite side expected to fight for the top spot in this group. The primary objective in this group is to finally break the historic curse of reaching round of 16 and advance past the round of 16 into quarterfinals for the first time. Yeah. For Japan, what they expect from Japan, they'll finish second in this group. Finish second, they'll have one win, two draws. Yeah, no, they'll finish second in this group, 7 points. They'll go toe to toe with Netherlands. Yeah, they'll go to Netherlands as well. Yeah, and they'll beat Sweden and Tunisia. Next team in this group is Sweden. Sweden last World Cup experience was 2018. They missed the 2022 World Cup. 2018 hosted by Russia, they finished in quarterfinals. They were knocked out by England 2-0, and they failed to qualify for the 2022. Best performance was runners up in 1958, and players to watch out for is Arsenal's striker Gokeres, Liverpool's forward Isak, and Tottenham's winger Kulo, Kulusevski as well. After missing out on Qatar, Sweden returns with one of the most attacking, lethal, and explosive attacking duos in Europe, Gokres and Isak. They are, they are predicted to lock into a fierce and highly competitive battle with Japan. Japan is disciplined member for the group's second automatic qualification spot. Sweden in the World Cup group in the qualifiers in the first round they performed ish. Then it's in the playoffs where we started to see the real Sweden. And this World Cup, I fear Sweden will bring an element of two sides of that. The first ish is Sweden and the good Sweden side, and we'll see Sweden get 3 points here for four goals scored, 5 goals conceded. The defense should be their weakness. Next, last team is Tunisia. Tunisia, African team, they finished fourth in this World Cup group. 2022, they failed to make it out of the World Cup group. They finished third in the World Cup despite pulling out a historic, famous 1-0 win over defending champions France, former defending champions France in the final match. France rotated for that match, so if France played the full strength, Tunisia will have finished that group with no points. Group stage, the best appearance is performances group stage, six previous appearances, but they never advanced. Mm, Players to watch out for is former Man United midfielder Mejbri, forward alias Achoro, and Elias Shakiri. The Eagles, they, they cut the Carthage Eagles are labeled as paper underdogs of Group F and are known for their defensive shape and tactical grit, and they looked to frustrate the European and Asian giants, aiming to sneak into round of 32 for a third place qualification slot. I'll be honest here, I don't see Tunisia doing shit here. I see Tunisia finishing 0 points, 1 goal scored, 6 goals conceded. they'll be exposed technically, defensively they'll be exposed. Yeah. Next group is Group F. Group F has um, teams like Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Yeah. What do I think of this group? This is a group where there's quality. You can see the quality different in this group, but also there are some teams that are inconsistent, and I'll talk about it. Yeah, Belgium. We start off with Belgium. Belgium failed to finish, failed to top this group, failed to top their group. They finished. The last World Cup was 2022. They failed to top their group after a shocking premature exit after scoring just one goal in the group stage. This signals the end of the famous golden generation. Best performance is third place, 2018. And players to watch out for this time is KDB, Napoli, Doku from Man City, and Lukaku, Napoli. Yeah, so it's a mixture of during golden generation and upcoming generation. They're now led by Rodo Garcia. Belgium enters the tournament as heavy favorites to win Group G. In transition with fresh young talent mixed with elite veteran leadership, the baseline objective is to comfortably top the group and build momentum for deep knockout round. My honest opinion on Belgium. Belgium is an inconsistent nation. Yeah, you have a lot of expectation on Belgium, and Belgium fails to impress you as well. Belgium enters into this group as a second most prepared team World Cup nation in this group. And my prediction for this group is Belgium tops this group, 7 points, 5 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Yeah, I know. Wow, that's a shock. You're back in Belgium. Yeah, I'm back in Belgium this group. Even me, I'm shocked that I'm back in Belgium this group. But surely Belgium cannot finish bottom out of this group. This is an easy group. If Belgium finish bottom, it's better for them to just keep the national team apart and to rebuild a new one. Yeah, if they finish bottom of this group, for sure. But if for those who have watched so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So close. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. And yeah, next next one, next team in this group, you have Egypt. The Pharaohs 2018 World Cup. They failed to make it out of the group stage. They lost all group matches to Uruguay, Russia, Saudi Arabia, failing to qualify for the 2022 edition. The best performance was 1934, 1990, and 2018. They've never won a match in World Cup history. Each and the legendary forward they have players to watch out for is former Liverpool player Mohamed Salah, the legendary forward, and red hot attacker who has been more red hot and inconsistent, Mamouche from Man City. Yeah, but back on the World Cup stage, referrals boast one of the deadliest tactical stadiums in the tournament with Salah and Mamouche. They are conscious of second favourites to qualify automatically out of this group G and are highly expected to win the first ever World Cup group match. Yeah, I'll be honest here. Yeah, I watched Egypt in AFCON 2025. Yeah, they didn't look so impressive in the group stage round. Yeah, they looked better in the knockout stage round, but this is World Cup. There's better competition than that. And for Egypt, I don't see them winning the first ever World Cup match in this World Cup group. Yeah, it's better competition. I don't see Egypt winning the first World Cup match. I see Egypt continuing their streak of not failing for failing to qualify for knockout stage, and Egypt will finish fourth. 1 point. Yeah. So Egypt, but that's the truth, honest truth. Yeah. Um. Next is Iran. Iran failed to make it out of the group stage. 2022 Qatar, Iran failed to make it out of the group stage. They suffered a mix. They had a mixed campaign, highlighted by a win over Wales and failing to progress after a decisive 1-0 loss to USA. Decisive 1-0 loss to USA. Their best performance was group stage, six previous appearances, never advanced. Players to watch out for is striker Tamari in on and winger Al Alicia. Yeah, they're known as Team Mille. Iran is a highly organized and defensive side, making the seventh total World Cup appearance. They're viewed as direct threats to Egypt for the second spot, aiming to use the tournament appearance to advance past the group stage for the first time in the history. Yeah, so that's to mention it. You know what's funny? In all this group, all these teams, yeah, from first to fourth, all of them have failed to make it out of the group stage. So all of them, two of them will break the record of that, make it out of the group stage. And I feel like Iran will compete with New Zealand. Yeah, Iran will compete with New Zealand. Yeah, for the second spot than Egypt. Yeah, and I see Iran finishing third, 3 points, 3 goals, 5 goals conceded. Yeah, a bit of distraction, but Iran will finish third. I know this is a shock prediction, but last team, Iran, New Zealand. New Zealand last World Cup was 2010. They are representing China for the first time. Yeah, they made it out in the group. They failed to make it out of the group stage. They famously finished the 2010 tournament undefeated as the only team not to lose a match, and they're bowing out in the group stage after three consecutive draws, which means it shows how good they are. Group stage, the best performance was group stage 1982 and 2010, and plus to watch out for is Chris Wood. Yeah, and they're benefiting from China's new direct qualification slot. The All Whites entered Group G as a paper underdogs. While the path is difficult, they're highly disciplined under pressure and target the opening game against Iran to spark an historic knockout round push. And I believe New Zealand will be able to do that. They're able to push for knockout stage round. Yeah, they'll finish second, 5 points, 4 goals scored, 2 goals conceded, and yeah. Next is Group H. Group H: Spain, Uruguay, Cape Verde, and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so obviously, for those who are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're almost done. Let me take a small break, small commercial break. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Welcome to Football Overseas, your favorite sports hub where passion meets sports. Whether it's club football, international tournaments, or global leagues, we bring every game, every story, every debate straight to you. During the international break, every continent comes alive on our channel, Eurovision, all things Europe, Nations League, Euros, FIFA WC qualifiers. Goal Plus Africa, Africa's Heartbeat, AFCON, CHAN, Kosovo Cup, FIFA WC qualifiers. Libertadores Vision, South America Uncovered, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, WC Qualifiers. Silk Dynasty, Asia Spotlight, Asian Cup, WC Qualifiers. Harambee Stars Unleashed, everything about Kenya's national team. When club football dominates, we go deeper. United Frontline, the ultimate Man United fan experience. Echoes of Anfield, Liverpool like you've never seen it. House of Galacticos, Real Madrid Uncovered.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Yeah. So we start off with Group H: Spain, Uruguay, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia. We start off with Group H for Spain. Spain, last World Cup experience was 2022 World Cup where they were knocked out in round of 16. Spain suffered a shocking penalty. I mean, they were knocked out by Morocco in their first knockout stage round. Best performance was the one when they won the World Cup in 2010, hosted in South Africa. Players to watch out for is Yamal, Bradley, and Nico Williams. And this World Cup, they have not selected much Real Madrid players. They have selected mostly Barcelona players, and they're led by Luis de la Fonte. The reigning world European champions enter as heavy favourites to top Group H and expected to mount a serious campaign to win the second world title. I'll be honest, with Spain, they're among my top four favourites to win this World Cup. Yeah, they're expected to do very well in this World Cup. Yeah, in terms of readiness, they're very ready for this World Cup. Yeah, and they're the most ready in this World Cup group. Yeah, Spain will have Spain. My expectation in this group, Spain will have number one. They'll not concede a goal in this World Cup group. Number two, they'll have a lot of clean sheets. They'll top this group with three clean sheets. They'll have a winning streak. They'll be unbeaten in this group. Yeah, and they'll have scored 7 goals, zero goals conceded. Yeah. So next team is Uruguay. Uruguay failed to make it out of the group stage in Qatar group in Qatar World Cup. Yeah, they suffered a heartbreaking premature group exit on goal difference despite a final match victory over Ghana. Uruguay has won the World Cup twice in 1930 and 1950, a gap of 20 years. And their last World Cup win was in 1950. Yes. Players to watch out for is Valverde and former Liverpool striker Nunes. Under the tactical guidance of Marcelo Bielsa, Uruguay are heavily backed to comfortably progress alongside Spain. The aggressive high-pressing style makes them a dangerous dark horse capable of a deep tournament run. And I agree. I see Uruguay as the second most ready team in this World Cup group, and I see despite Uruguay not yeah despite Uruguay losing to Spain, I see Uruguay getting a shock draw against Saudi Arabia, but they'll beat Cape Verde for sure. They'll beat Cape Verde for sure, and yeah. So and Uruguay will finish second in this group. So the second last team in this group, Cape Verde. Cape Verde making the World Cup debut. They clinched the first ever World Cup ticket, topping the CAF Champions qualifying group. Cape Verde has been on a rise ever since the last two AFCON editions. Yeah, and they have been a tournament, they have been a nation going up, up, and up. Yeah. And they arrive as ultimate paper underdogs in Group H with no historical pressure. The Blue Sharks will aim to stay defensively compact and target the match against Saudi Arabia to secure a first historic World Cup point of victory. And this is where it might get crazy. I think Cape Verde will get a shock draw against Saudi Arabia, and that will be a World Cup treatment. But they'll get a shock draw against Saudi Arabia. Remember, Saudi Arabia got a shock draw against Uruguay, and that will be two shocks in this group. So Cape Verde will finish this group one point, two goals scored, five goals conceded, one goal more conceded more than Saudi Arabia, but they'll do well. Yeah, and that's better than topping for our debut team. That's better than finishing the group with 0 points. Yes. So next last team in this World Cup group is Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia in Qatar group they finished they failed to knock out they failed to make it out of the Qatar group. In Qatar World Cup they failed to make it out of the group stage. They finished bottom of the group, but famously pulled out one of the biggest shocks, defeating Argentina 2-1 in the opening match. Best performance was 1994 when they reached the round of 16. Players to watch out for is winger Salam Al Dosari and striker Faraz Al Bora Khan. They have excellent tactical cohesion and have a continuous investment in the domestic leagues. The Saudi Arabia are expected to directly battle Cape Verde for the third place and look to replicate their 2022 joint killing capabilities to sneak into round of 32. I'll be honest here. We'll see another Saudi Arabia versus Argentina shock result, but we'll see it in terms of Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay. Saudi Arabia will get a shock draw against Uruguay. Yeah, and Saudi Arabia will be part of another shock performance when Cape Verde gets a shock draw against Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So they'll give one and they'll receive one as well. So that's the World Cup group. Group I. France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq, famously known as the group of death. A group a lot of fans will be watching. Yes. France, we start off with France. France they defend runners up, they finish runners up in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. They fell short to Argentina in an iconic penalty shootout after a 3-3 draw in the final where Kylian Mbappe carried France. They won the World Cup twice in 1998, 2018, and what's working in France's favor is it's rare for a World Cup champion to win a World Cup back to back. That's very rare. There's only two nations that have done that. I think it's either France or Brazil. Yeah, two South African nations, South American nations. Yeah, so that's hardly hard for Argentina to do it, and that work in France's favor as well. Plus to watch out for is Mbappe, Madrid's midfielder Camavinga, and forward Thuram. France are ranked as one of the top heavyweights globally. The Les Blues are clear favourites to win Group I in what is slated to be her manager's last final tournament. The expectation is nothing less than reaching a third consecutive World Cup final. Yeah, 2018, 2022, 2026. Yeah. So, for France, by expectation, France is among my top four favorites to win the World Cup 2026. And for me, France is expected to top this group with 7 points, eight goals scored, one goal conceded, and France is a very attacking side. Yeah, France is a very attacking side. Yeah, the defensive structure is good. Yeah, and yeah. So for France, they'll top this group 1 point. Yeah, shock draw France will probably have is against Norway when they rotate against Norway. But apart from that, I don't think there's any shock performance. Norway, Senegal, next team, defending AFCON champions. Senegal, the best performance they reached to in is out of 16 in 2020. No, sorry, last last World Cup was 2016, was 2022, where they reached out of 16. They navigated out of a group, but were smashed by England 3-0 in the first knockout stage. uh, In the first knockout stage, and the best performance was quarterfinals in 2002. Yeah, players to watch out for is Sadio Mane, Jackson, and Koulibaly. The Lions of the Tarajara was a highly athletic roster custom built for transition football. The highly anticipated opening match against France will evoke memories of the famous 2-2 upset where Senegal beat France and expected to heavily contest Norway for the second automatic qualification spot. Norway, good side. Senegal, good side. Yeah, it will be ugly. It will be a very high quotation. Norway, um, Senegal finished third in this group with 3 points, 2 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. They'll lose to Norway for sure. They'll beat Iraq. Yeah. Last group is Norway. Last team is Norway. The second last is Norway. They finished their best performance was their last performance was 1998. It was their best performance out of 16, hosted in France. Last time they reached out of 16, it was 1938 as well, before 1998. They advanced past the group stage but were eliminated by Italy 1-0. They are led by a very good striker, Erling Haaland, and Arsenal playmaker, Premier League champion playmaker, Martin Odegaard. Also, they have talented upcoming stars like Oscar Bob, Antonio Nusa, and other stars as well. They are expected. They have made a return to the World Cup after 28-year absence. They they feature one of the world's most deadly goal scorer in Haaland, and driven by decades of national expectation, they are tipped to progress out of the group stage and present a dangerous threat in the bracket. And I agree. I see I see Norway breaking out of this group stage. 7 points, 5 goals scored, 1 goal conceded. Final team in this group is Group I. In this Group I is Iraq. Iraq last World Cup was in 1986, hosted in Mexico. They failed to make it out of the group stage. Yeah, they lost all group matches against Paraguay, Belgium, and Mexico in the sole finals appearances. The best performance is group stage match in 1986. Yeah, they have one striker, as Amin Hassoun, who has helped them to qualify for this World Cup through the Inter-Confederation playoffs, and also Ali Jassim is also mentioned in the Inter-Confederation playoff. They're back on the grand stage after 40 years wait. That is like 10 World Cups wait, and they entered I as heavy paper underdogs, utilizing a very low block and patient counter-attacking strategies under coach Jesus Casas. Their primary realistic goal is to frustrate Europe and to push for third place ranking to sneak into round of 16. But to to disappoint, yeah, but to disappoint I- Iraq's team, I feel like Iraq will not top this group. Yeah, and they'll end up finishing. Iraq will end up finishing fourth in this group as well. Yeah, so I think that's what will happen. And yeah, next is Group G. Argentina. Argentina is in the group. Argentina is in the group of Group G. Argentina has managed to. Argentina, the defending world champions, have managed to qualify for this World Cup 2026, and Argentina is world champions. Yeah. So Argentina last World Cup they were world champions. They defeated France in a penalty shootout to win the trophy, to lift the trophy, and they won the World Cup trophy three times in a row: 1978, 1986, and 2022. Players to watch out for is Messi, Lionel Messi. They are aiming for back-to-back crowns, and also the clinical striker Esano Retaro Martinez is also a player to watch out for. And the manager, Leon Scolani, they are absolute favorites to win Group G, and the baseline expectation is a deep championship run to become the first repeat winners in over 6 decades. My prediction for this one is Argentina to top this group 9 points, 5 goals scored, two goals conceded, and yeah, another one is Austria. The next one is Austria. Next one is Austria. Yeah, they failed to make it out of the group stage in 1998. That was their last World Cup, and their best performance was 1954 World Cup third place. The players to watch out for is Sabitzer and defensive centre back Alba. They're known for under Lafranic, the second favorite to qualify automatically. They are heavily expected to survive the group, and they act as highly dangerous knockout opponents. For Algeria, for Austria, I predict them to finish second, 4 points. For for 4 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. Yeah, they'll be a very leaky side, but they'll finish second above Algeria. Yeah. Next one is Jordan. Jordan is making the World Cup debut. They've never qualified out of the World Cup before, and players to watch out for is Tamari, yeah, and Al Namit. They're arriving as massive paper underdogs. Then Nasama have absolutely nothing to lose and are backed by intense national pride. The primary objective under the coach is to avoid heavy defeats and play defensive compact football and to push for historic first ever World Cup point, which I believe they will. With a team like Algeria in this group, they will shock people. Yeah, they'll shock Algeria, they'll beat Algeria, yeah, and they'll finish 3 points, three, three 3 points. Third, 3 goals scored, 5 goals conceded, and last group is Algeria. Algeria has improved massively. Last World Cup appearance was 2014 out of 16. Last performance, they put up a historic fight against champions Germany, but they lost to Germany 2-1 in extra time in round of 16. Best performance was 2014, and players to watch out for this World Cup is Mahrez and Amora. The Foxes are viewed as direct qualification rivals to Austria, boasting immense speed and tournament experience. The realistic group goal is to finish second in this group and to settle a historic score with Austria dating back to 1982. It I doubt will happen. I very, very doubt that will happen. I see Algeria finishing fourth, 1 point, 3 goals scored, 5 goals conceded. Yeah, yeah. Or it could be the other way around, whichever comes first. But they'll finish 1 point though. Yeah, they'll take a draw to Austria, but they'll struggle. Next group, Group K. This is second last group. We have teams like Cristiano's group, like Portugal, DLC Congo, Uzbekistan, Colombia. Yeah, very, very tough groups. Cristiano's last World Cup, this World Cup group. Yeah, and they finished in the quarterfinals in the 2022 World Cup hosted by Qatar. They suffered a 1-0 loss to Morocco. It is a sad performance, by the way. And the best performance for by Portugal was in 1966. Players to watch out for is the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo, playing in a record sixth tournament, the last tournament for Cristiano. Bruno Fernandes, player of the season and from Man United, and winger Rafael Leao from AC Milan, who is looking to impress in this World Cup so that he can earn a move away from his team. And the coach and the former Belgium's coach Roberto Martinez enter as absolute favourites to win Group K, given the elite depth and anything less than topping the group and making a deep run towards the trophy will be seen as a failure. For Portugal, obviously for me, I see them as favourites. Portugal has this tendencies to sometimes lose to small teams. We have seen that in qualifiers, in European qualifiers, and Portugal will make that a little bit interesting. I see that small tendency Portugal will underestimate a small team, two small teams, and get shock results. Portugal finished the top the group, 5 points, six goals scored, 4 goals conceded. Yeah. Now the second group we're talking about is DRC Congo. This DRC Congo is back in the World Cup after last World Cup. They are competing for the first. They are competing in the first World Cup. In this is a World Cup debut as DRC Congo. Yeah, they lost all. This is a World Cup debut. Brentford forward Wissa. The players to watch out for is Jan Wissa, Messel centre back Beba, and Galatasaray's forward Sendlik Ba- Bakao- Bakambo. The arriving as physical, highly disciplined squad following an impressive recent AFCON cycle, the Leopards are projected to fearlessly battle Colombia and Uzbekistan. The aim is to push for a top two spot and to qualify as one of the best third place teams. To give the LC Congo credit is qualifying for the World Cup is a good achievement so far, and this is a World Cup debut under DLC, under the name DLC Congo. And despite all that is going on in DLC, them making the World Cup appearance is a good achievement. And but however, I see DLC finishing bottom, 0 points, 3 goals scored, 7 points conceded. They're not that good going forward. The defensive side, but their defense will be tested a lot by elite attackers like Portugal, Colombia. Yeah. Next team is Uzbekistan making their World Tournament debut. They have never qualified. This is a first ever ticket. Players to watch out for is Roman striker Shomadov, Lens defender, Man City defender Ku Ku Kusanov, and yeah, the White Wolves enter the tournament as new tournament newcomers, but they boast highly technical cohesion. They labeled as slight paper underdogs, but have completely realistic shot at frustrating giants to secure a historic knockout berth. For Portugal, for Uzbekistan, I believe Uzbekistan can shock teams. They can get close against Colombia and Portugal, and Colombia can get a shock draw against Portugal and Uzbekistan. So, Uzbekistan they can finish third with 5 points, but the is the goal difference: 4 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Last group, last team is Colombia. Last World Cup appearance is 2018, round of 16. They suffered a painful penalty knocked out by England, missing out entirely on the 2022 edition. Best apparent performance was quarterfinals 2014. Players to watch out for is by Munich winger Luis Diaz and James Rodriguez and Aston Villa and former Aston Villa forward Duran. They're back on the World Cup stage and they're second favourites to qualify automatically, backed by an informed squad. They are heavily expected to push Portugal for the top two spot and make a statement return to the knockout rounds. However, for Colombia, I see them topping this group. I see them finish second behind Portugal, 5 points, 4 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Yeah. Last World Cup group, Group K, Group L, so that my little brother can finally watch his things. Yeah, England. The last group is England, Ghana, Croatia, and Panama. Yeah, shout out to England fans in the building. And I can see how frustrated he is. Yeah, England is managed by the manager, the manager Thomas Tuchel, a German. Yeah, the last World Cup appearance was under Gareth Southgate. The quarterfinals, 2022. The best performance was winners in 1966. They suffered a narrow 2-1 defeat to France in the final eight, and they missed a late penalty and the were bowed out. Players to watch out for in this World Cup 2026 for England is Hurricane, Jude Bellingham, and Arsenal winger Saka. They are now managed by Thomas Tuchel. England will, as always, they come into the World Cup thinking they'll win the World Cup tournament. They are one of the favorites to win this World Cup. Yeah, but will they likely? We'll see. But anyway, yeah, to just give hopes. We'll see. But anyway, yes, yeah, that's to give hopes to England fans. This World Cup group, however, they are one of the favorites for this World Cup to top this World Cup group. 7 points, 6 goals scored, 3 goals conceded. Yeah, I think the loss against Japan in as a friendly was it's nothing to be scared about. They're still favorites for this group, and I think should scare England fans about this group. Next team is Ghana. Ghana, an African nation. Last appearance was in 2022 World Cup. They failed to make it out of the group stage. They finished bottom of a fierce competitive group after a dramatic, heartbreaking final match loss to Uruguay. Best best performance was quarterfinals 2010, and players to watch out for in Ghana is Kudus, Mohamed Kudus, and Iniki Williams, and Bournemouth, and Man City striker slash winger Semenyo. The Black Stars, they have a very athletic and fast-pacing squad. They're a team that you don't want to have on counterattacks, and they're looking into a direct and heavily anticipated battle with Croatia for the group's second automatic qualification spot, with capacity to cause a major defensive headache for England. So, for Ghana, I think Ghana, due to lack of experience, Ghana will finish third, 4 points, 4 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. Sorry, Ghana fans. Next is the Old Men FC, Old Men Nation, Croatia. Old Men managed to finish third place in 2022 World Cup, Qatar. They put, and that was the best. People say, was that their best performance? I'll say it's the second best. Not the best, but second best. They put together a heroic and resilient run, imagine defeating a poor side Brazil on penalties before bronze medal against Morocco. Yeah. Best performance for Croatia is the 2018 runners-up spot hosted in Russia. While the squad is aging, that's why I call them Old Men FC. Croatia has elite tournament experience, which makes them second favorites to advance, and they are highly expected to navigate the group stage using the elite tactical discipline, though that physical endurance would be heavily tested by Ghana's pace. However, experience beats pace. That's like the story as they tell us in the kid, as they tell us as kids, where of that bunny and the turtle, where the turtle ended up winning the race against the bunny. And in this race, in this thing of in the race for second place for Ghana versus Croatia, Ghana is the rabbit and Croatia is the turtle, and Ghana and Croatia will end up winning this race. So second place, Croatia, 5 points, 6 points, 6 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, and yeah, second last team, Panama. Panama then failed to make it out to the group stage in last World Cup 2018. They lost all their group games against Belgium, to England, Tunisia. Imagine losing to Tunisia. How bad can it be? But that is Panama. Yeah. The players to watch out for are not even mentioned. but they are returning to the group stage after missing out on Qatar 2022. The underdogs, yes. And then the final group, Group M, Group M, the best, the eight best selected teams out of 12. Group M is the last groups we mentioned. Some of my best selected teams are Uzbekistan, Bosnia, Czech Republic, eh, oh yeah, Czech Republic, Morocco, Australia, Ghana, Ecuador, and Sweden. Which means big teams like Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Jordan, Iran are going home. And yeah, those are 12 groups, 12 amazing groups, 124 games, and it is amazing. Hopefully, the best teams will win. Remember, top two automatically qualified to knockout stage, and the best, yeah, 8 out of 12 best third place teams, best 8 out of 12 World Cup, yeah, third place World Cup teams will qualify for knockout stage. Apart from that, for those who are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream, share your thoughts in the comment section, and make this live chat lively. We'll have live watch alongs. Hopefully, I'm here to talk to the other content creators about it, but we'll have a live watch along. If we don't have it on the Football Overseas YouTube channel, I'll be back for knockout stage predictions. Yeah, and we'll be back for round predictions for round of 32 up to the final one. Apart from that, it is a wrap. Yeah, a very, very good wrap. Unless I pretty wrong, maybe I still pretty long, but anyway, you guys have other things to do, and it has been enjoyable to have a stream. Yeah, so see you guys next time. That is it tomorrow? Yeah, I think, yeah, it is tomorrow. It is tomorrow for North American hopes, and yeah, apart from that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching Football Overseas. We're thrilled you joined us for today's action and analysis. If you enjoyed the stream, smash that like button, share with your football family, and subscribe to never miss a moment. Stay connected with us, Instagram at Foyt2019. X at Kyle44323945. Facebook, Football Overseas and Football